So we're back. Yeah, change of pace. We're gonna kind of get away from the movie reviews and typical, tokusatsu updates and everything for a little bit. Kind of go back and fill out some of the stuff that I should have been reviewing after my last 3 collection updates over the last year and a half. So yeah, we're just gonna change pace for a little bit, leading up to probably right before Godzilla Palooza. I want to do a video for that, and yeah, go from there. So starting off, one of the oldest purchases I have, Bandai Megalon. Got this at the Mahoning Drive-In Theaters Schlockerama back in 2022, and there was a guy there who was kind of selling some Godzilla figures on the down low, and wanted to make sure, like, I kind of was looking through and found this guy. I was like, well, I don't have a Megalon, but I do have a Godzilla 74 and a Gigan, so what the hell, why not? Let's get at least 3/4 of the set scratched off. And yeah, so this is the new mold. Obviously, the last time that Bandai did Megalon was back in the 80s and leading up to like the 92 Memorial Box, whichever one it was back in the 90s. So we really haven't gotten a new figure of this guy since then. We've gotten him from other companies, X Plus, YMSF, but this is the first Bandai Megalon that's been done in a very, very long time. I still have the tag on him, just never took it off yet. But let's dive into the figure, because there's a few things that I kind of have nitpicks with this guy, and a few things that I really do like about this mold compared to the prior mold or some of the other, non-Bandai figures that I've seen. So starting off, we'll take a look at the paint job and the detailing. Kind of monochromatic, although I will say that I like that Bandai did kind of step up their game with like the patterns and such, because they really did get kind of close to what Megalon had on him. Like, if you look at the suit for the movie, the only thing that it comes into with that is I wish they would have gone a little closer to like the brownish body with the orange, like off orange highlights and patterns and such, and also maybe doing a little bit of red coloring with the mouth, but that's just a nitpick for me. Overall, though, the sculpt of the figure is very nice. I did kind of think that he looked a little bit like a bobblehead at first, because when you look at the suit, it kind of, Megalon did always have like a goofy kind of look to him, especially with those drill hands and whatnot. But I don't know, looking at this initially, I just kind of thought, yeah, this looks like a bit of a bobblehead kind of Godzilla figure. Minor nitpick on my end. But overall, though, I really like the choice that they went with for most of the paint. Like, I do like the fact that they did change it a little bit, went black and yellow versus brown and orange. The detailing on his eyes is spectacular. Same with the mouth, even though, it's just the silver for the pincers and everything. It did really turn out very nice, and especially like the tan on the antenna and his little crest at the top of his head, how it kind of fades from black to silver. Obviously the silver for the drills, which are also very, very nicely detailed. The claws, which kind of has that old school Bandai spray paint job, something that I wasn't really too fond of. The only thing that really isn't, like, there's none of the silver touch on it, is the tail, which I'm pretty sure in the movie you can see it, his tail, well, for one, his tail is a tad longer, but you also have colored spikes on there as well. So yeah, just a few things that I would say kind of detract from the figure, but nothing too detrimental. So as far as articulation goes on this, he's kind of your standard Bandai figure. Head 360. Now his arms, you really are kind of inhibited by the fact that he has the wings right there and his shoulder pads, so his arms will only go to about like there, and then you wind up running the risk of popping the arm out of the socket. So he really doesn't get much articulation as far as the arms go. And obviously, well, you're gonna have to move the arms just a tad, but the legs can rotate slightly as well. They are going to clash with the arms and the drill hands. So yeah, other than that, though, kind of standard. Like I said, Bandai articulation and everything. Nothing too over the top. So as far as sizing goes, let's take a look and just see how he scales up with, you know, some of the other monsters that we had within the film itself. Obviously, I don't have a Jet Jaguar, so we're working with a Godzilla 74, which this looks about right. I wouldn't really say that this is like anything super stellar, just because I feel like Megalon should at least be, you know, right about to here. So, you know, that's what you're kind of working with. Not bad, though, and plus the crest does give him a little bit of added height over Godzilla. So it's doable. And if we have Godzilla and we have Megalon, we also have to have Gigan. So on this one, scaling with Megalon and Gigan is fairly close. Yeah, I'd say fairly close. That's pretty dead on. And, you know, obviously it's really not going to matter, because most of the time either Gigan was on the ground or Megalon was on the ground. So there wasn't really much of a time where they were ever really standing too close together, other than when they were, you know, firing those in like the endless barrage at Godzilla and Jet Jaguar. So overall, though, I will say, I mean, Megalon's a good figure for what it is, and especially because at the time I was able to get him, he was fairly cheap. I think I paid like 20 bucks for him, which I don't even know what he goes for right now with the tag. If you're looking for a Megalon, I would definitely say get the figure, but if you're looking for what I would say is like a better sculpt for the Megalon, I would definitely say go with the YMSF. That was one thing that I always kind of preferred, was I like the sculpt of the YMSF Megalon, because it feels a little bit more true to how he was actually portrayed in the movie, and plus the fact that it's a little closer color and detail wise to what the suit actually would have looked like on the tag, like, well, the still from the tag. So yeah, it's like I said, it's all minor nitpicks for me. I personally believe that if you're a Megalon fan, you know, you enjoyed the movie, or it's like one of your favorite Godzilla movies, you want to get the collection of all the figures that you can find for it, definitely get it. It's definitely worth the pickup. But overall, not a bad figure. I'll give him about 3 out of 5. You know, there's a couple of nitpicks I have, mainly going down to the paint and the scheme, like the paint and the patterning, choice of colors, and then some of the places where there should have been color and there weren't. But overall, not a bad figure. And yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys for the next one.